Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Credit Dude, and I wanted to pretty much bring up a weekly video or a weekly segment where every week I come on here and I talk to you guys as clients of Got Credit, so you guys can know either what's going on with us. I can recap either some questions that clients have been having via email, bring you guys any interesting events that are coming on, but just pretty much allow you to, one, not only just hear from me, but I can also hear from you every week. So the questions that you have every week, either via email or Facebook, I'm gonna recap them in here. And if there's something that you want me to answer on video, this is also your opportunity where you can email me, you can post it in the Facebook group, and we'll be able to, interact with each other. And then we're gonna see if this is something that you guys like, because if you do, we will start incorporating live Zooms again and allowing us to pretty much interact with you on a more consistent basis, not just on the phone and via email. So let me dive right into it. I wanted to pretty much address certain myths and certain things that I guess you could say a little bit of confusion on. So number one, why are credit scores different everywhere? This is one of the questions that we get asked the most, and it's because there's different platforms, there's different algorithms. You know, we use Identity IQ and MyScoreIQ. Identity IQ provides Vantage scores, MyScoreIQ provides FICO scores. Then you have Credit Karma that people try to go at, try to use every day and base it on either our results or theirs. They also have Experian, they have MyFICO, they have LifeLock, you name it. There are a lot of credit monitoring platforms out there, and you're gonna drive yourself crazy if you try to match every single one of them up with the other. So I can tell you that if you're using Identity IQ, stick with Identity IQ. If you're using MyScoreIQ, stick with MyScoreIQ. But the reason why they're different is because Vantage Score has 6 categories when it comes to credit scores, whereas FICO has 5. So it's a preference thing. That's why Vantage scores with Identity IQ are a little bit cheaper. FICO scores cost a little bit more. Here at Got Credit, I don't have an actual credit monitoring software where I can provide you free credit scores. It's just not the way it is. The reason why Credit Karma provides free credit scores is because every time you click on one of their ads, or if you apply for a credit card through their platform, they get paid for it. Okay, so it's all a marketing tool to drive traffic for paid services and things like that, all right? I can tell you that when it comes to credit scores and different algorithms and different platforms, stick to making sure you have no recent late payments, that you don't have maxed out credit cards, that if you have things in collection or in charge-off status, and if we're not able to remove them, that you eventually try to settle these accounts as well. So you have to make sure that you just focus more on the data, because if you focus on the data, no matter where you go, the credit scores, in a sense, will almost be the same relatively no matter where you go. So number 2, communication and staying updated. A lot of people still don't know that I'm the main credit coach, okay? So I know some of you guys are calling Steve, you're calling Joe, you're emailing Morgan, and you're emailing my mom, and you're also calling my dad, the OG, but listen, it's okay. We're gonna be here for you no matter what, but if, I would prefer you to email me, the credit dude at gotcredit.com. My other email is Jose at gotcredit.com. Either one is gonna come to me. But I can tell you that we prefer you to email first. Doing this 15 years, a lot of people have questions, which is great. We wanna answer your questions, but then we do a phone call for 30, 40 minutes, and then clients usually say, hey, you know what, can you actually email me everything you said? Because I'm at work or I'm driving and I'm not gonna remember. And I can tell you that happens 9 out of 10 times because we're human and it just happens, okay? So if you email me questions and you email me things that you wanna know about, I can either provide references, I can provide websites, I can provide links, I can provide PDFs, I can provide a screenshot of your credit report, endless on what I can do. And then after that, if you need a phone call, we can get on a phone call to address what was said in the email, rather than getting on the phone for 30, 45 minutes and then emailing it to you. And I can tell you and I can promise you that, doing this for a very long time, it's better to email than get on the phone, rather than get on the phone and then email. Also, if you do have questions, you can also post them in the Facebook group. That is gonna be a pretty cool way. We did change the name of the Facebook group. It is called the Got Credit Network, because we want current clients, previous clients, we want mortgage lenders, business owners. We want you guys all to network in there. So you might have been done with our credit repair two months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, whatever the case is, but you'll still be in the Facebook group where you can network, you can grow, and you'll be able to interact with other people. And especially if you have a business, we highly suggest you promote your business in there, because why not, buy and sell from people that are in our network, and we could all grow together, all right? Number 3, mortgage process and timing. So I wanna know, if you're under contract, right, and you're trying to buy a house, don't wait until the day before you're closing on your home to let us know. Please let us know ahead of time, because there might be some things that need to be done. We might need to remove some of those accounts in dispute, okay? So what that means is when you go for a mortgage, if certain accounts are still in dispute status, the mortgage company will not approve you. It's okay. We can help you remove that. It does take 24 to 48 hours, but we can get it done. And also, if you are going to apply for a mortgage, before you speak to that mortgage lender, like, let me know, email me, say, hey, listen, is there something I should do? Because a mortgage lender sometimes are gonna approve you even if you have a 500, a 580 credit score. But if there are a few things that you could do to get your credit score over 600, 620 within a 30 to 60 day period, you'll be saving a lot of money on points, you'll be saving a lot of money on down payment, and you'll be getting a lower interest rate, okay? So just let us know, because we don't want to interfere with the mortgage process. But when you do get with a mortgage lender, I would suggest that you also CC us in the email and the communication. If you are going for a mortgage and you want to apply for a mortgage within the next 6 to 12 months, let me know. I will connect you with a lender in your area and also a realtor, so that way you guys can start talking about the things that need to be done in order to get you approved. Because I can tell you, you can have great credit, but if you don't have tax returns, bank statements, if you don't have certain things in order, a down payment, pay stubs, a job, it's not going to happen. Okay, but there are ways around it, especially if you're self-employed. There's ways to get you approved for a mortgage, and unfortunately, I'm not that person to do it. I can connect you with the right person to get you approved, all right? Number 4, credit monitoring and delays. So if your credit monitoring subscription is inactive, or you haven't updated your credit card, unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to view your credit report. You're gonna get an email either from Morgan, myself, or even my mom, Yvonne, or even Identity IQ and MyScoreIQ itself. If your credit card is declined with them, there's really no way for us to check your credit, okay? So it's very important that you update your credit card with them at all times, so that way we know exactly what's going on. We can refresh and we can know when your update is due, all right? Keep the payment info updated to avoid any delay in disputes, and as soon as we regain access, we'll go ahead and move forward with the dispute process. Number 5, rebuilding and income boosting strategies. I think one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't realize is auto pay will save you every single time, not just half the time, all right? If you put all of your accounts on auto pay, and if you are building credit, we see a lot of people recently, I would say within the last 12 months, we see a lot of people rebuilding credit, and then they're late on self, they're late on kickoff, they're late on the secured credit card. You want to make sure you avoid all those ways. Being late on credit builder credit cards, it not only doesn't look good, but it's going to tank your score even more, because it's a newer account that was opened with a recent late payment. So if you have a credit card that's been open for like 15 years, 10 years, and you're late on it, it's not going to hit you as much as if you have a card that was open 6 months ago and it's maxed out with a late payment. So try to do everything you can to avoid that, okay? Let's say if you have an auto loan, you're behind on it, or it's in repossession status. The easiest thing you can do is pick up the phone and see if you're eligible for forbearance or deferment on those payments. I've personally done it several times. You could only do it a few times within the course of the loan, but it'll buy you a few months. Make sure your insurance is up to date as well, because depending on if your car is a lease or not, if you don't have insurance on your lease, they could repo it as well. How do I know that? Because it happened to me when I was like in 2006, 7, and I've learned it throughout the process that you got to make sure you have certain things in order to prevent certain disasters from happening. But if your car is going to get repossessed and you are behind on your payments, there's certain things you could do. You can rent your car out on Turo. You can go ahead and do Uber. You can do DoorDash. You can do Lyft. You could even rent your car out to a family member that might not be able to get approved for a car. Maybe add an extra $100 on there. Or if your car payment's $500 and they'll cover the $400, all you got to do is cover $100 a month, and now you protect it. You do a contract with them. There's many ways, and I can help you out with that. So if your car is in a pre-repossession status, or if you're afraid that you can't afford your payments, let me know. Get with me, because we can come up with different strategies to save and protect your credit. Because once you get a repossession, I promise you, 9 out of 10 times you are gonna have to settle that debt. And the one thing that sucks is trying to get a new car with a repossession on your credit report. You're gonna get hit with double interest. It's gonna be insane. So let's do everything to try to prevent that. All right. And there's the other thing too. So if you do have we also had a client, right, that was overseas, and he pretty much was gonna have a repossession on his credit report, and he thought because he was overseas, it didn't matter. And he's like, oh, I'm just gonna let it go. And I'm like, well, if you let it go, just because you're overseas, your credit report still exists here. Even though you live in another country, he was still using American credit. So try to prevent all that negative stuff from hitting your credit report, because even if you're not in the country and you're living abroad, when you come back to the States, you might have a lawsuit that's waiting for you, or a judgment. All right. Credit building. I'm going to give you, a lot of people ask me about credit building. I think this is one of the things that a lot of people confuse. So credit building is simply this, is establishing credit with accounts that you don't currently have right now that will typically approve you based on the fact that you don't have credit right now. And I know that's a little bit of a tongue twister. I know it's a little confusing, but you got to start somewhere. So you might have to get that first Premier. You might have to get that One Main. You might have to get that Credit One, that Finger Hut, that Kickoff, that Self. okay, a secure credit card. You might have to bite the bullet and get those credit cards that suck, because you have to, you know, a lot of people say, oh, those credit cards suck. And, you know, for a long period of time also, I would say stay away from those credit cards. But it's not the cards that suck, it's the people that unfortunately don't use the card the right way. And they get a credit card, they max it out, they don't pay it, they charge it off, and then they repeat a pattern and then a behavior that lasts them for years, and they can't escape the chains of having low limit credit cards, and they can never progress to high limit. Okay, so make sure that you're doing everything you can to build credit from scratch. You can go to gotcredit.com/credit-building. You can go in the online resource center, because we have information on there to help you build credit from scratch as well. But get added as an authorized user with a family member, and you'll be good to go. It's not that complicated, and it's not that hard, only if you make it. And if you've been in our program for at least 6 months, and you don't have at least 3 to 5 accounts that are open on your credit report that are new, and you have under a 600 credit score, email me, because I want to make sure I take care of that for you. If you need help with applying for those credit cards, you're not sure what to do, email me, let me know. I don't know what you don't know unless you let me know, okay? It's one of the most important things, all right? And that's about it. I always wanted to keep these under 15 minutes, try to kind of just recap the week. You know, I wrote this down. Every situation is different, but the goal is the same. Clean up negative items, build strong positives, and stay consistent. Keep sending your questions, and I'll keep breaking them down for you here. So this was more of a recap. I didn't have anybody specifically like asking me questions like here, because this is the first one. But send me your questions. I could do a PowerPoint. I can just have them on my phone, open them up. But I can tell you that staying consistent over a 12 to 24 month period is going to get you closer to an 800 credit score. Now, if I told you right now, let's say today is this is September of 2025. If I told you, all right, you got to do these 3 to 5 things over the next 12 to 24 months, and when you do that, you'll have close to an 800 credit score, you'll have no negative debt, you'll have high limit credit cards, you'll have the car that you want, you'll have the house that you want, and you'll be in a position to never get denied. If that took 12 to 24 months, would you do it? A lot of people are impatient. A lot of people are not willing to do what it takes to do the little things that will end up taking care of the big things down the road. I can tell you that over the last, I would say for me, the 12 to 18 months was probably the most hardest months in my life. And I don't even think most hardest is even correct. I think it's the most hard, okay, or the hardest, all right? So it doesn't matter. It was not good times. It was unpleasant financially, mentally, for my family, for my business, and I got through it by doing things consistently and doing the basics, sticking to what I know, best, delegating the rest. And if that meant hiring a company for this or having team members add on extra responsibilities, it doesn't matter, okay? You have to be consistent with doing the basic things, and that is paying your bills on time, not maxing out your credit cards, not having any new negative accounts in your credit report, building credit. And over a period of time, if we're not able to delete certain negative accounts, I can help you settle them. I can help you with coming up with a plan to pay those accounts off. I can tell you some debt does not go away. Don't ignore it. Oh, this didn't get deleted, so I'm going to go to another company. Company's going to charge you more money. It's not going to happen, and you're going to come back and say, you know what, I should have just stayed in the program. Don't just give me 3 to 6 months, okay? Give me 12 to 18 to 24 months of you. I'm going to give you 18 to 24 months of me and my team. And if that's what it took, you know, when you really put that on paper, our program is $100 a month. If in 24 months, which is less than $2,500 in 2 years, which a lot of these gurus on social media are charging $2,500, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 for peanuts, not even offering you half of what we're offering. I don't really care what they're offering. I don't really care what they're doing. I can tell you that me and my team are going to give you everything that we can. So if you need help doing an LLC, if you need help settling debt, if you need help doing certain things, you're starting your Turo business and you want to know how to do that. You want to know, okay, I got a $10,000 account. How do I settle it? How do I pay this off? You know, how can I actually grow my social media channel? How can I actually put myself in a position to not be afraid in camera? Like, look, you have to maximize every single minute. I'm in the car driving home from our other car rental business, 626, which has been on Turo for about 3 months. Okay, we have 15 cars collectively between me and my brothers. And it's one of those things that you have to put the time in. And you can either maximize the time by watching football. You can maximize your time by watching things that are not going to produce you anything but a headache and either less money, or you can focus that time on things that are going to put you 10 steps ahead of everybody else come 2 years, all right? Because I can tell you that in 2030, you're going to need credit. credit. 2035, you're gonna need credit. And 2050, you're gonna need credit. All right, so start building the foundation now. It will take 12 to 24 months to break all those habits and keep you on a path to always getting approved for high limit and low interest credit cards and loans and mortgages. And then we're here every step of the way to help you build your income, build your revenue, and just come up with different ways. All right, guys, so let me know if you have any questions. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.